In Hartford are investigating after multiple people were ambushed and shot last night. It comes just hours after a separate deadly shooting in the capital city. Owen Kingsley is your reporter live outside of Hartford Police Headquarters with the very latest. And Owen, what are police telling you this morning?
Well, right now, we're just learning the devastating results of what happened here in Hartford yesterday. One man is dead and several others recovering in the hospital right now after two shootings just inject fear and anxiety into this community. Now, police tell us the violence started yesterday afternoon over on Capitol Avenue. This is where police say 25-year-old Jared Floyd was gunned down in broad daylight. Neighbors tell us they had to duck for cover when bullets started flying. Few other details are available as police are still searching for who did it. Investigators are also piecing together a shooting around 10 o'clock Wednesday night on Nelson Street. They say 4 people were playing dice when they were ambushed by several people. A total of 4 people were sent to the hospital and are now all in stable condition.
Very chaotic. Officers arrived here. Multiple fights breaking out in the street. It's no secret that when the warm weather breaks out, violence tends to rise. That's not a Hartford problem. That's an every city problem.
Police are still looking for the group that was involved in that second shooting as well. Your reporter live in Hartford, Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.